Hey there, it's Amy from thecrazycraftlady.com. Head to the Dollar Tree and stock up on fall craft supplies because I've got 8 brand new, super simple, super easy, super quick fall crafts to share with you. And by quick, I mean one of these came together in under 2 minutes, I swear. So stay tuned. We're going to get our fall craft on. Let's get making. Okay, so how cute is this little welcome to the pumpkin patch little sign from Dollar Tree? But the front is cute, but the back is not so cute. So let's make the back match the front. So we're just going to remove that little label there and then start with just an orange chalk paint. This is folk art home decor chalk paint. I'll have to look up the paint color. Canyon Sunset, I think. Anyway, pick a color that matches whatever little Dollar Tree little sign thing you got there. I just painted all over the inside of that little cardboard backing thing. I will say this cardboard type material soaks up a lot of paint, so you're going to use a lot more paint than you think you will. But any type of paint is fine. Cheap acrylic craft paint, whatever. I just painted the inside, and then I also painted all around that edge, that border there. Pretty simple with a flat 1-inch paintbrush. And then I also painted that edge, that little frame edge. And for that, I kept my paintbrush flat, parallel with my work surface, and just kind of gently brushed so I had a clean, crisp edge there and no bleed around the edge of the project. And then I finished it off by I have a pack of little teeny miniature clothespins there, and I just hot glued one right into the center at the top. And so then I can stick a little fall photo into what is now a little picture frame. And so now the project is cute on the front and the back, so you can display it like on a countertop, like a breakfast bar situation, or somewhere where the front and back might be seen. Super cute. Have you seen these Crafters Square 2-pack blank coasters at Dollar Tree? They're little ceramic tiles. So adorable. We're going to embellish them with these rub-on transfers for fall, also from Dollar Tree. So I just started with my little coaster, and I took a pair of scissors and I cut out a single one of the larger decals from this fall sheet of rub-on transfers. So this is just a little row of pumpkins there. I trimmed it down to size and then I set it in place. I was like, okay, yeah, that'll fit like a good cover a third of the coaster. So now I want to do a combination of rub-on transfers and kind of a color block thing. So we're going to paint a stripe across the coaster. So before you add the rub-on transfer, grab some painter's tape and mark off just a single stripe on the coaster that we're then going to paint with chalk paint, acrylic craft paint, whatever you got. I found that the colors in these rub-on transfers were very, very muted, and the paint that I had in my craft stash was just too bright. So I ended up mixing my own custom colors. I've been doing this more lately. Super fun. So I just took orange paint and I mixed in a little bit of taupe, and that really muted it down and it better matched the rub-on transfers. So I was really happy with the end result. But I just painted the front surface and then the two sides of the coaster between the painter's tape. And then I don't like to wait for my paint to dry before I remove the painter's tape. I find I get crisper lines that way. So while the paint is still a little bit tacky, peel that tape away at a 45-degree angle, and fingers crossed, you should have crisp paint lines. So now we have kind of like this color block thing going. So we have this solid stripe of color, and then we can add in our rub-on transfer. So I just set the little rub-on transfer in place, and then grab your little popsicle stick or smoothing tool and rub, and get that transfer to transfer all the way onto the coaster. I will say it was quite nervous when I made this craft. These coasters, I was expecting them to have more of like a porcelain tile finish. They almost have kind of like a chalky finish. I was like, is this gonna work? Is the transfer gonna stick? Oh, it stuck all right. And then I had a hard time peeling the transfer sheet, that plastic sheet off because it stuck so well. And the image transferred like a dream. No problems at all. And so I did this with 4 different coasters, and then you can just seal them very simply with Mod Podge. I would probably use like a hard coat, dishwasher safe, something type finish, whatever floats your boat. But how cute are these little coasters? And if you can find these at your Dollar Tree, buy a bundle because they're not just tile pieces, they have cork on the back so they will protect whatever surface they're on. So they're already like ready to go and craft with and decorate. I only bought like 6 of them and I'm already kicking myself. I want to go back and get more and make coasters for all of the seasons. Okay, now when I'm at Dollar Tree and I see a candle, I can't help myself. I have to buy it. I am a candle kind of person. So I grabbed one of these. It's a prayer candle. It's just plain white candle in a glass container. I grabbed my little heat gun there and you peel off that label. Easy peasy. I was struggling because I was at the end of my manicure and my gel polish was starting to like peel and I was trying not to destroy my nails. So normally it's not this difficult to peel that label off, but I was trying to preserve my at-home gel manicure there for as long as I could. So then I just grabbed my Mod Podge, whatever Mod Podge you have. This is matte, and I covered all of the glass all the way around the candle with a coat of Mod Podge. Be generous in your application. I just set it there on a piece of parchment paper so that I could then paint the top part. And then you set that aside to completely dry. If you've been watching my videos, you know where we're going. You gotta let the Mod Podge dry because we're doing the heat press method. So grab your favorite fall napkin. I think I got these at Michael's a couple years ago. Just a fun leaf fall pattern. And if you heard that sound in the background, that was my Alexa device reminding me to take the trash cans out because it's trash night. Okay, anyway, I cut my napkin down to size, which was about a half a napkin. And then you're going to smooth that down over the candle surface. Grab your mini heat press or an iron with no steam. Grab a little piece of parchment paper or something to protect the surface of the napkin and just get heat pressing. So what this is going to do is it's going to reactivate that Mod Podge so your napkin sticks smoothly over that glass surface. No, it's not going to melt the candle wax. It's not going to be on there long enough. I've never had issues with that. But you're just going to go all the way around the candle, and then when you get to the end there, you can just trim off any excess napkin piece and then just seal down that little seam between the 2 napkin ends. And I intentionally cut, maybe this was unnecessary, I intentionally cut the napkin a little bit long. And so that little portion that hung over the bottom of the candle, I just filed that away with a nail file. It doesn't need to be a super clean cut at the bottom there because we're going to cover that up. Normally when I do candles like this, my go-to is like, I'll wrap it with twine a few times at the top and the bottom. I want it to be, I don't know, do something different, change it up. So I have this satin ribbon that I bought and used last Christmas and I have a ton of it left over. And so I just hot glued that, hot glue one end, wrap it around the candle, hot glue the other end. Make sure you match up the seam with the satin ribbon and the seam on the napkin so you have like a good side of the candle, I guess. And just do that at the top and the bottom. And I thought this little kind of like, it's like a gold bronzish color ribbon really brought out like the more earthy tones in the color of the napkin there. Super happy with how this turned out and a super quick and easy fall candle craft. Grab 3 little foam pumpkins from Dollar Tree. we're going to stack them up and make a topiary. So start with whatever base you have. I have this little galvanized pot. I think this was from IKEA ages ago. Pop a square of floral foam into the pot, and then we're just going to hot glue and stack. So add hot glue to the foam base, pop a pumpkin on top of it. Between each pumpkin, you're going to remove the stem and any toppers that came with it and just stack the 3 pumpkins right in a row, easy peasy. And then this gets really messy, I'm sorry. I have a big bag of Spanish moss. Sometimes you can get it at Dollar Tree or at the craft store, and just make little ribbons of Spanish moss that you can then hot glue between each layer of pumpkins. So you want some at the base, hiding that gap between that pot and the green pumpkin at the base. And it'll also kind of hide that floral foam at the bottom. And then you're also going to add some between the green and the orange and the red pumpkin, or whatever color pumpkins you buy at Dollar Tree. Just remember, largest, medium, smallest. So Papa Bear, Mama Bear, Baby Bear pumpkins in a row, obviously for a topiary kind of shape. Super messy. Then wipe away all that excess Spanish moss. I'm sorry, you guys. And then one of my pumpkins had a floral topper, so I just hot glued that right back on. So this was the floral topper from the orange pumpkin, but then I just popped it onto the red pumpkin, easy peasy. Or you could add like a single flower or two, or like a bow with ribbon, whatever floats your boat. This was just the path of least resistance for me. And how cute is this super simple little mini pumpkin topiary that came together in like 2 minutes. So easy. Okay, friends, give this craft a chance. Don't knock it till you try it. Go to like the self-care aisle and get a bath mitt. Yes, like a bath mitt for scrubbing your body, right? I also got like little pouches for bar soap and like natural fiber brushes for like scrubbing your nails. They have some really cool stuff going on in the self-care aisle. So anyway, grab a bath mitt, open it up, stuff it full of like polyfill fluff, like for stuffed animals and pillows and things, right? And fill it like maybe halfway full. You don't want to fill the whole thing, but just so you have a nice little sphere going on. And then once you have that knot tied, and then we're going to tie that shut fabric from that piece of twine. Simple you're going to fold down, nothing crazy, back over that dome that you've created. I thought it would be easier to fold it down over once you see where we're going with this craft than it would be to cut it off, and then just cut off that little excess tag, no problem. So if you don't know where we're going, we're making a pumpkin. Okay, so trust the process. Grab some twine, wrap it around your little sphere once, then wrap it around again at a different angle, and then wrap it around a third time at a different angle. So now we have created, pull it tight, we've created 6 sections of a little pumpkin. So just pull it tight, tie it in a simple knot to make sure it's all secured, and then tie it just in a simple bow. So I do the bunny ears method, 1 loop, 2 loop, and then tie the 2 loops in a knot. And you have a simple bow. You can trim the tail ends. And then from there, we need a pumpkin stem and topper. So I just grabbed a little piece of a twig from my backyard. I hot glued that right to the top of the pumpkin, and then add a sprig of faux greenery for just a little bit of color. Hot glue that in place as well. And look, we have a little fabric pumpkin. And our little secret, it was made from a Dollar Tree bath mitt, and I don't think anyone is going to guess that. How cute. Head to the dollar store and grab a fall bowl and a fall plate. We're going to make a super quick tiered tray. So I took these home, I washed them up. I used my heat gun to remove the labels from the bottom of both the bowl and the plate. So just heat them up and they should peel right off super easy. And then you're just going to grab your E6000 and apply a line of that glue around the bottom little ridge on the bottom of that bowl. And then you're just going to set the plate right on top of the bowl, make sure it's centered, let it dry, and you have a cute little tiered tray. You could put snacks on this, fall treats. I found these cute little mini pumpkins at Dollar Tree, so I put those on the plate with a little candle. At first, I thought this was going to be really an underwhelming craft, but I think it's super cute the way it came together. All right, I am no stranger to these pumpkin wood cutouts. In fact, I did a compilation video with a bunch of them a couple years ago, and it's one of my most popular videos this year. So who would have thunk? So for a quick craft, we're going to grab some plain craft paper or a sheet of printer paper, whatever you got, and smooth it over the pumpkin. So there's these 3 sections. We want to make I'm about to say the forbidden word if you've been with me, template. How do we say it? Okay, I'm going to template because I'm from the Midwest and I'm sticking to it. I don't know if it's wrong or right, but I'm going with it. We're making a template with the paper by just pressing our fingers over and making little creases of those 3 sections of pumpkin. And then from there, we can grab our scissors and cut those 3 sections out so we have a nice little template that we can add to a sheet of peel and stick wallpaper. So I thought, I bought this peel and stick wallpaper a while ago. It's kind of a brown color. At first I was like, what am I going to do with this? But I'm like, oh, for fall, of course. So I just took some painter's tape and I taped down my 3 little paper template sections onto the back of a sheet of any type of peel and stick wallpaper you like, whatever pattern makes you happy. We're going to trace it out with a Sharpie, all 3 sections, easy peasy, and then cut that out. So I know we have to cut it out twice. I'm sorry. I don't know of a better way. If you know of a faster way, let me hear it. But either way, this was like a super quick craft. So then we're just going to cut out those 3 sections of peel and stick wallpaper. And then hopefully if we've traced accurately, we now have 3 little pieces that fairly closely match the 3 little sections on that pumpkin. And we can just peel off that paper backing and pop the peel and stick wallpaper right onto our pumpkin. And how cute is this little pumpkin guy? I love, when I first saw this pattern of peel and stick wallpaper, I was honestly like, meh, I don't think so. But paired with like the unfinished wood of this little pumpkin cutout, I actually really love it. And I think it's perfect for fall. Grab a sheet of fall window clings from Dollar Tree as well as a sign. Any sign will work. This, you could do anything you want because we're just going to use the back of this. So I just grabbed my heat gun and I peeled the label off the cardboard back of this Dollar Tree sign. And then I come in with chalk paint or craft paint, any color you like. I went with brown because that was the background color of this sheet of wall decals. But if you have a different color wall decals, pick whatever background color you like, paint the whole thing. And then once that paint dried, I dry fit my window clings in the arrangement that I like to decorate my sign. So put as many window clings on as you like. And then come in with Mod Podge. I used matte Mod Podge here, and you're gonna glue down all of your little decals. So I just worked one by one. And you just apply a coat of Mod Podge right to the sign, and then you smooth your decal over it. Make sure you smooth out any air bubbles, and then add another coat on top of the decal to like really seal it in there. And you want to paint the whole background of the sign, even areas that don't have a decal on them. That is because you want the whole sign to have the same sheen of finish. So if you're using satin Mod Podge, then the whole thing will be satin or matte or whatever you like. But just Mod Podge the whole thing, put all your window clings down and let it dry. Yes, I know, like this isn't these were all supposed to be really quick. This project, hands-on time, is like maybe 10 minutes max. And with your dry time in between, you could make any other fall craft that you like. And then once that was done, I went ahead and painted the top and bottom little strip with teal paint just because that was one of the colors in the window clings, but you could pick whatever color you like. That's it. And here's my finished little fall sign. How cute. And here are all 8 of my finished fall dollar store crafts together in one spot. I do hope you enjoyed watching these crafts come together. Until next time, happy making. Hey, if you enjoyed watching these crafts, give one of these videos a watch. Thanks so much.